Up here is part of this old mine. You can see the pit all down here. And we're talking about this old graveyard. You said it's up in North Carolina?
Yeah, it was a friend of my dad's in Boone. He lived on top of this mountain, and there was a little, like a small graveyard on his property. It was right in front of his house, actually, like right next to the driveway. And there was like a bunch of real small tombstones in it. And I asked him, you know, what's the deal with this graveyard? I guess it was like a village back in like the early 1900s or something like that. Small tombstones because they were children. And I guess what had happened is, story that he told me was that they got sick from eating strawberries. I don't know if there was some sort of fungus and the kids didn't, you know, their immune system wasn't as strong as the adults, and all the kids, I guess most of the kids got sick and died, and they were all buried in this little graveyard. Wild.
And it's on his property?
Yeah, it's right in front of his house, like next to his driveway.
Was it documented, or just like that was a lost graveyard?
Yeah. No, it was documented.
Oh, okay.
There was like he had like documentation or whatever to, prove the story. I think it was made news back in whenever it was.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm always hearing about stories of lost cemeteries being found on people's property. There was one actually in Tampa. It was in this neighborhood, and they were building a house, and they found this old cemetery back there in the woods. And that was interesting because then they didn't know who was going to take care of it, and could they build on the property, and they had to stop building. Kind of held up everything, but it's a really interesting story.
That's in Tampa?
Yeah, some neighborhood in Tampa.
Really?
But there's a lot of lost ones out here in these woods that you find from time to time. Is it straight?
Yeah.
Can you see us in the shot?
Yeah.
So we hiked for a while through these woods. We still got a little ways to go, but as we are exploring, we come across some of these really cool mining pits. This area has a history of phosphate mining. I wanted to see what you thought of this pit. It's pretty deep. What do you say, about 60 foot?
I think it's got to be at least 60 feet deep. This is the largest one that I've seen.
Climb down in there, man. Come on.
You first.
We'll climb down in. It's deep.
Yeah, it's extremely wide too. It's got to be the size of, a couple football fields.
So back in the mining days, early 1900s, when these areas were utilized, this would be all cleared out. It's all overgrown today. Nature's reclaimed it, but these pits are still out here. And it's pretty neat as you hike along them. I've seen some out in Croom, Citrus. So they're pretty common throughout Florida.
Yeah, so basically imagine it without all these trees here,
yeah,
and a bunch of heavy machinery working around, digging stuff up out of there.
Yep.
Hundreds of people working. Be quite the different sight.
Yeah, so we're gonna climb down in there, some different angles. Taylor's gonna go first. We're gonna carry on and check out some other parts of this amazing place. Let's do it. So awesome to be out here though.
Yeah, I did this a lot.
It's relaxing, isn't it?
I love this. I love being outdoors.
Clears the head.
I love being in the woods. Even when I would go hunting and we wouldn't get anything, I still enjoy just being in the woods.
Yeah, there's nothing like it, man. Fresh air, even though it's hot.
Yeah, I think
but it's for me, like when I'm out here, I feel like it's not as hot out here as it is in the city. At least out here you have the trees and the shade.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of that heat is absorbed.
Yeah, I agree.
But when you're like in the areas where there's a lot of pavement, highways,
yeah,
it's hotter, dude.
Well, it's reflecting the heat right onto you.
Yeah.
It's like absorbing it like all of this does.
Because when we first got here, I got out of the car, it felt really hot, but as I'm going in here further, it doesn't feel as hot. I guess you get used to it. It's crazy because in North Carolina is like a lot cooler up there right now than it is here. When I visited, it felt good. When you hike down by the streams, the coolness from the water, you can feel it. Mm-hmm. That was an awesome experience.
You guys ever go to like Sliding Rock?
I've never been there, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat thing.
People slide down it. I don't think I could slide down the rocks.
It's just this big, huge rock, and it seems like it would hurt or like it'd be dangerous. And then there's like a river or a creek or whatever, and it's flowing right over this really huge, smooth rock. Yeah, and you just slide right down it. It's fun. You just go right into the water.
Yeah, I've been to areas like that where you can slide down the rocks, but I never actually done it.
Yeah, I just did it out.
The water's feels. When I was up there recently, I did go swimming. I found like a cool swimming hole in one of the creeks, and that felt great. The water was really cold. Once you get in there, you get used to it. All right, we're almost there. We're getting close. All right, I'm checking the map. We're in the right area. You can see it opens up here. It's kind of swampy. We're walking through these swamps, so be prepared. Nah, I'm just kidding. Some of the hardest hikes though I've done have been through swamps. This one I did was really crazy because you get really far back in there and you think you can stay dry. You just end up getting wet. So this is pretty cool. See how it opens up? This is an old mining pit here. So we made it out to this area, another old mining area, and there's a lot of karst formations, interesting little cavern areas that go into the ground. So, what do you think of this area so far?
This is pretty cool. I like it. You can see all the rocks jutting out of the ground, all the different. I'm assuming it's limestone.
Yeah, a lot of limestone.
All the holes in it. There's like little canals like going through the tunnels going through the rocks.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You gotta watch where you walk too. You don't want to fall down in one of those little crevices. A lot of limestone out here. And it's very wooded, so we're gonna make our way through this area of the wilderness. Watch our step, probably see a lot more of these limestone formations along the way.
Let's do it.